Welcome back to the Own Your Power Lifestyle Show. I'm Coach Simone Kelly, author, life coach, and Reiki master with Own Your Power Communications. And we're your trusted guide to conscious living, intuitive wisdom, and personal growth. And today's topic is how to turn back the clock, skin secrets that actually work. And I'm very delighted to be joined by Lynette Luster, founder of Beauty Alchemy, who's doing some powerful, amazing work in skincare. And really, she does a lot more than just skincare. She helps you balance out your nervous system with healing and rituals that really help you tap into yourself again. And I'm so excited and I can't wait because my appointment's coming up soon. So welcome to the Own Your Power radio show, Lynette. I'm proud to have you.
Ah, welcome. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, yes. So for those who don't know, we are both in Costa Rica.
Yes.
I am just blown away by the feedback I've heard about your products. And then I actually went to a soft launch to learn about your products and now I'm using them. And I mean I just love that it's obviously made by a woman, black owned, and it's natural. So this is something that is my audience loves to do. We love to support one another, but we also love natural products. So first of all, tell us how you even got started, how you got to Costa Rica. Give us the short footnote version of
Okay. Well,
how
the
you
short
got.
footnote version,
I know it's a lot.
uh, yeah, I didn't know you were going to start with that, but we might as well.
Okay, you gotta know who's going
How
first,
I
right?
got to Costa Rica.
Yeah.
Well, I lost my home in the Palisades fire on January 7th. And one afternoon, everything in my community, my home, my kids' school, everything was gone. By the time I got to watch the evening news, my entire community was gone. And so I had to rebuild somewhere. And I was invited to Costa Rica. And I had a pretty amazing experience here. It is an amazing place. It's a portal. It's a place where energy just does amazing things. And I got a real deep calling that this is my home. And so, without even ever really knowing about Puerto Viejo and Costa Rica and everything, I took that leap of faith and I moved here. And I landed here on the river, a river jungle, right in the jungle retreat. And I always want to say it's born from the fire and birthed by the river. That's what beauty alchemy is. And it's a blend of energy work and beauty work that revolves around skin ritual. And it has truly, truly helped a lot of women and men
Right,
with transformation, not only aesthetically, but balancing their nervous system, which is what beauty alchemy is all about.
right. I mean, and when you guys go check her out, or just even go to her Instagram, just looking at the videos of her doing the work on people. I mean, everybody's hugging her. It's all emotional. I'm like, this is a facial. This is like this is way more than a facial.
It is way more than a facial.
It's very emotional and deep. And I mean, I like I said, I can't wait till my time. But tell us first and foremost, because like again, most of my audience is 30s and up. Maybe
Right.
spot is like in their probably late 40s, early 50s, like me. I just turned 53, and we want to take care of our skin. We don't want to look wrinkly. We don't want to
Yes.
do Botox. So, I mean, some people are, but I want to know what are some things you can tell us as far as if your skincare isn't working, what usually is the first thing that we're doing wrong? What is it? Can you narrow it down or
Yeah,
tell us?
I can. I definitely can because it's really simple. It's very, very simple. Like a lot of people think I'm like against all invasive therapies and like Botox and laser peels and all that. It's not that I'm
Right,
against them. I just want my people that I work with to know that there are natural alternatives to being able to do something that invasive. And most of the time, it has to do with what I do at Beauty Alchemy, which is activating the body's own chemical processes from within to activate the skin. The skin is the largest organ of our body. So
yeah,
it's at the top of the totem pole as far as our whole physical self. So it informs everything. And there are so many systems that inform it. And when you're able to bring those into balance naturally, that's what brings the glow. That's what brings beautiful, activated, radiant, luminous skin. So if that's not something that's happening for you, most of the time it really doesn't have to do with just skincare. I
mm.
know that sounds like a surprise.
It could
It
be
really,
it could be
yeah,
food. I always thought remember as a kid, and you see somebody with a bunch of pimples, like, oh, he eat Chinese food and drink soda. That's why you got acne. I mean, that usually was the reason why.
Yeah, because it's usually not just the skincare itself, it's that there's no consistent nurturing relationship with the skin. And that's what I foster is what I call skin ritual, where there's a ritual around you connecting to your skin, to yourself, to your face, because the skin listens to you, you know? And if it's a true ritual, it's something you'll return to again and again. And that's why I even call it a ceremony of return, because that's what it truly is. You develop a relationship with your skin. And what do you do in a relationship? If you're in a relationship, there's going to be some nurturing. There's going to be
Right.
some care. There's going to be some time. There's going to be some energy put in. So if you learn how to have a relationship with your skin, all those things are going to naturally be there and your skin will respond. Like I say, it's not just about products. It's about having a relationship with your skin. And that's what I try to foster everybody who comes through my studio and spa to do.
Right. Everybody that I've seen that you work with, they do have a beautiful glow. So you're doing something right, girl. But with that said, since we know they need to have sort of rich skin ritual, if you had to create like a simple glow up blueprint for somebody that's probably never does, they just do the typical wash your face, dry it, and get out. What would be some essential steps that they would follow daily that you recommend?
Yeah. And again, I keep it simple. You know, because what's natural is usually very simple because it's very essential things. And so your skin needs cleansing, it needs hydration, it needs circulation, protection, and rest. It's that simple. Cleansing, hydration, circulation, protection, and rest. So, how you cleanse matters, how you hydrate matters, are you activating circulation, lymph flow, blood circulation? Are things activated? Are you supporting your nervous system? And yes, the right products can support all of this, but they work best when they're part of a consistent ritual. And that's really part of what I do at Beauty Alchemy too, is I have a skin collection that does those things. That it helps with hydration and just being consistent with all those things, gentle resurfacing and barrier repair and doing it within a daily ritual.
Can you elaborate more on the circulation part? Like what is that exercise?
Yeah. No, it's well, see, the face is the portal to the nervous system.
Right.
I mean, even if you look at it scientifically, your face has its own lymphatic system separate
Mhm.
from the rest of the body. Your face has thousands and thousands of neural pathways that go straight to the central nervous system, and your face is closest to the central nervous system, your brain. So
Mhm.
if you're able to regulate your nervous system through self-touch of the face, then guess what? You're able to balance and regulate your system. And some of those activation points are lymph. Really
Right.
simple. A lot of people I have people who come in here and they're like, "I have cheekbones I haven't seen in years," you know, or they
Wow.
a lot of puffiness here like
Right.
forever. And I get done with them and there's no more puffiness under their eyes. I have a client, she's always had like a cystic acne left over from when she was a kid and it's been there for years. After 3 treatments with me, it was gone. A
Whoa.
lot of that has to do with lymph drainage, and it has to do with facial fascia release. So I do facial fascia release, I do facial lymph drainage, and I do cranial sacral massage. All these things
You
start to
do?
activate all these systems that need to be circulated so that your skin and your nervous system start to connect so that your parasympathetic is activated because the parasympathetic is the exact opposite of our fight, flight, or fight syndrome.
Mhm.
So when you have the parasympathetic activated, that activates the vagus nerve and that releases oxytocin. And oxytocin is what creates the bond. When we have babies, it's not so much that we're so nice. We are very nice as women, but it's because oxytocin is released. That's what creates the bond. And now we'll stand in front of a truck for that baby. So if we can release, right, he might have been the guy next door before. Now we've been intimate. Oxytocin's released. Now I got to marry the guy. It's oxytocin. It creates the bond. So if I can create oxytocin to bond myself to my child or to my partner, why not activate the release of oxytocin to bond to yourself.
Oh,
That's where the center of skin ritual resides, is
right.
right in that. That's where the energy work meets the beauty work.
So, I was gonna ask you, like, give me like if I my first time coming to you, what's the process when I come to your spa? How does it work? Do you do a big evaluation of my skin? Like, how does what's the steps?
Again, it's pretty straightforward because it's straightforward energy work and it's straightforward beauty work, but it's a blend because that's where people make the disconnect. When I first opened the company, I had this event called the missing link. And that's what I meant. What is disconnecting this parasympathetic, oxytocin, nervous system balance, regulation with the other side of what I do, which is advanced technical aesthetic science work. I do microneedling, radio frequency microneedling, ultrasonic, the highest forms of aesthetic science that you would get in any luxury med spa. I do. So, how do we blend those two things? So, when you come in, first, it's energy. You saw I give people a hug. You know, that same connection. Let them know this is a safe space that was created for their restoration, receiving, and renewal. We do a clearing. We have a Palo Santo and we clear. And then I invite them to recline on this lymph, on this lymph
It's very
cradle.
comfortable.
And so you feel cradled. And then we start to get into the work. I start to explain to you about how there's energy based science, because as healing practitioners, we usually work within the realms of the more intangible energies. But at Beauty Alchemy, we also incorporate the more tangible energies, like everything on that machine over there ultrasonic, ultrasound, radio frequency, light, all these things, our blood cells, our skin cells, and our muscle cells are all receptors of different frequencies of energy. And when those receptors receive those different frequencies of energy, they go into a form of activation. And so we go through the whole process and we do breath work, we do a sound clearing, and then I go right into the hydrofacial, but it's informed by the energy work. So by that time, your parasympathetic is in activation. Your
Right.
vagus nerve is activated. And now we start the hydrofacial. And the hydrofacial gets its due as the top of aesthetic science because there really is no other way to better decongest, deeply cleanse, thoroughly hydrate, and resurface the skin like a proper, thorough hydrofacial, like I give, that takes minimum 90 minutes.
Oh, that's a deep cleansing facial.
I mean, I've had them take longer.
Wow.
Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah,
can't wait till my time comes.
yeah.
All right,
But
so
it is, it's renewal, complete. That's why I call it facial renewal. It's facial renewal by the river. Yeah.
my question now is a little bit about your products, but also just in general for people that probably don't have access to your products right away. What are
Mhm.
some of the most important natural ingredients that you recommend for someone trying to turn back the clock?
Really, really, really important. Because
Protein?
one of the main things I focus on and that have my clients focus on are botanical ingredients, like organic, raw botanical ingredients, like everything in the Beauty Alchemy Botanical Skin Collection is wild crafted, locally sourced botanicals from right here in Costa Rica. And I always say, if excluding like a few things, just a few things, everything else if you can't eat it, it doesn't belong on your face. So a lot of the things that are in nature are the things that are best to activate the biochemical processes. Honey, aloe, fresh, raw, organic honey, enzymes fresh out of the papaya, like what's in my papaya cleanser, turmeric, vitamin C, calendula, all these things, these are ingredients that hydrate gently resurface, calm inflammation, and support the skin barrier. Because my formulations, they're all built around that. And if there are things that can work with the skin and not against it. Because if
Right.
your skin recognizes it, it knows how to use it.
Right. I've been using it for about a week now, and I already can feel the difference in my skin too. So yeah, and I love the mask. What's in the mask again? Papaya? Or,
Yeah, it's been a dream come true. Like it really has been a dream come true to be able to see now that the products are launched and how it's really what it's really how it's transforming people's skin. It is truly remarkable. And so like the vitamin C, the turmeric honey vitamin C mask,
Oh, that's
that's a yeah, that's a hero mask. It does everything because the turmeric and the vitamin C, when they're together, that causes what we call brightening, but brightening doesn't mean lightening. Brightening means evening out the skin tone and bringing the true complexion out and even, right? And then there's honey. I source my honey from the Bribri tribe, the indigenous people from the Talamancan Mountains right here in Costa Rica. And honey is the first humectant. And a humectant is deeper than a hydrator because hydration is deeper than moisturizing. Moisturizing happens on a topical level. The humectant draws in moisture into the skin and helps keep it there. So honey is the first humectant. And then I do right here in my kitchen, I'm pressing out fresh pressed aloe. And we all know aloe high in antioxidants. It's so good for the skin. But then I'm also I put the calendula in there, the ginseng in there. It's everything to brighten, hydrate, and detox the skin. Because I do put kaolin in that as well, and that's earth clay, Kaolin, and that also detoxifies the skin as well. And that's across the board with all the products. Like I'm in here dehydrating papaya, right in my dehydrator, and dehydrating eggplant, and all these things because these things need to be natural if they're gonna have the effects that people are really looking for. Because if you're gonna be going back and forth to get the Botox and back and forth to get the lasers, what happens is, unfortunately, there's a law of diminishing returns. The more you go, the more you're gonna need, and the
yeah.
less your skin is gonna be able to rest, repair, and renew in between those treatments, and so then the actual biochemical processes within get weakened and then it
Nope.
doesn't even work anymore. So if you're gonna be going somewhere again and again and again, go somewhere like Beauty Alchemy and go somewhere where it's going to be activating your biochemical processes to not only maintain the health and vitality of your skin, but to grow it, to
Yeah.
actually grow it.
I always wonder why some people get Botox so much to the point where they look like a cat, and I don't know if that's Botox or just bad plastic surgery, but I've seen people where their eyes keep getting smaller and smaller and smaller, and it just doesn't look like them anymore. Like, I don't even recognize them anymore.
Yeah,
So
and literally we have natural processes and natural treatments that, like I said, activate what's going on, behind the scenes. Your skin has its own natural intelligence.
right,
Like I always tell people, the skin is like a plant. Plants want to grow. If you
right.
give them water, you give them sun, you give them some soil with the proper nutrients, they will grow. The same thing with our skin. If we activate collagen production, if we gently cleanse the skin, if we resurface the skin, if we hydrate the skin, it does what it's supposed to do. And then you won't need Botox and peels and all this other stuff. I'm not against them. I'm just saying there's other ways to be able to have glowing, radiant, firm skin without all that.
But that leads me to my next question related to lifestyle habits. So, what are some lifestyle habits that you think people need to implement that will help their skin flourish and give them that glow?
I think that it comes down to 3 things, and they're gonna be surprising. Sleep, stress, which in its broadest term means a dysregulated nervous system,
Right.
and sun protection. Those 3 things. Sleep is when the skin actually repairs. It's the only time that your skin can rest and repair. The only time. That's why they call it beauty sleep. You got to have it, you know? And if you don't have it, no matter what products you're using, no matter what treatments you're doing, the repair for those things can never happen. So your skin never gets to repair itself and renew itself. Does that make sense? So sleep, I deem sleep a macronutrient. Carbohydrates, protein, and sleep. You know, it's a macronutrient. It's a part of your nutrition that you have to have, especially if you want to have the clock be going backwards. There's no other way around it. I worked with a makeup artist one time, and she had this saying. She used to say, She was amazing. And she used to say, "Yeah, but ain't enough makeup in the world can cover tired."
Ooh,
It can't. You gotta sleep, so that's sleep.
right.
And then stress,
Wait,
that
before you move on to that, I do wanna add that I've been researching a lot about weight loss and things to do, and sleep is on that list too.
it is.
They're saying
All your body
yeah,
systems repair, all of them.
yeah,
Every single part of your body repairs and resets and renews itself while you sleep. Case in point, we know, when do babies grow? When they're asleep, because all the processes are working while they're asleep to grow and restore and, all of that. It's essential. It is a macronutrient.
and you recommend the typical 8 hours or
I do think that getting into a true rhythm with your sleep it's really beneficial. I know it's hard for a lot of people. They have crazy schedules and everything, but even if you can carve out like 4 nights a week where you dedicate yourself to going to bed at around the same time and waking
right,
up at around the same time, the benefits are tremendous. Tremendous, you know? And so yeah, 8 hours, you definitely want to get minimum 8 hours, especially if you're trying to bring that clock backwards. You can go from 8 to 10, Sleep is restorative. It is deeply restorative.
I'm working on it.
Yeah.
I
You
I'm
know,
I'm
and
on like 6.5 hours on average, and I need to
And
do
it's
do
astounding to me because I work on people's faces all day long, and when I ask about this macronutrient, this is where they're deficient. They're willing to buy the products, they're willing to invest in their skin, they're willing to show up for treatments, but they will not go to sleep. They will not regulate their sleep. So I know it's a process, but start somewhere. Start
right.
somewhere. And then
Okay.
stress, so the stress is that your nervous system needs to be balanced. So you definitely want dysregulated skin. A dysregulated nervous system can't prioritize renewal, right?
Mhm.
It can't do it. So you can use the best products in the world, but without rest, regulation, you can't reset and you won't see the full results because you can't. I'm a queen of serums over here. I got a serum for everything. Some people in tech say there's an app for that. I say there's a serum for that. But you can't out serum stress and lack of sleep.
Right.
Can't do it.
So what do you do for stress? Yes. I mean, aside from moving to Costa Rica.
I know, right? And
That's
so
about
much of
it.
that has to do with the ritual itself. So, like I said, the face is the portal to the nervous system. It's being able to have those touch points with yourself. Because I also do mirror work as well as part of the skin ritual and teaching people to be safe within their face, that this is a place that you come to that is a safe place. A lot of us, we can't even look in the mirror, or when we look in the mirror, all we see are these reflections of stories that have been told to us that we tell to ourselves, and they have nothing to do with who's on the other side of that mirror. And so I do a lot of work around that because that has been proven scientifically when you're doing mirror work that resets the brain quicker than anything else. It lays down more neural pathways quicker than anything else. So with that being said, being able to balance your nervous system through skin ritual and developing a relationship with your skin, now you have a foolproof way to regulate your nervous system, balance yourself, calm yourself, connect to yourself, and take care of your skin at the same time. It's the best deal in town.
Right, right. Okay, and then this is a big one for especially Black folk who think they don't need it. Talk about sunscreen.
Yes. So that's that, yeah, because when you asked the question, that was it. I said, lifestyle is everything. It's sleep,
Yeah.
stress, and sun care. And it's true. It is so true. We have been hoodwinked and bamboozled when it comes to sun care. Because we've been told that because we are
No,
gloriously melanated, that we're protected from sun damage. And that's not true. What's true is our melanin, which are made of melanocytes, are not much different than this leaf over here on this banana tree. Like the banana tree, right? This leaf, it's like photosynthesis, is what I'm saying. Photosynthesis is when the sun goes into the plant sees the light and starts to produce food for the plant. Same thing with our melanocytes. They're powerful, they're sensitive. Soon as it contacts sunlight, it tells the melanocytes to start to produce pigment
mhm,
so that we're not burned. by the sun. Our melanin protects us from getting burned as easily from the sun, but it does not protect us from damage from the sun. And 80% of the aging and the clock going forward really fast has to do with sun damage. It just does. I don't know. Maybe if we were here 800,000 years ago, or, even 300 years ago, maybe we wouldn't need sunscreen because we used to have an ozone layer. We don't have that anymore.
Ooh, I never
So
thought
we
of it like that.
all have to have sun protection.
Yeah, yeah, especially we're close to the equator. It's like I
Oh
noticed
gosh.
it's like a
Yeah.
redder tone I get out here than especially
Mhm.
in Atlanta. Um,
Yeah. That
yeah.
was the whole thing when I was making the collection. It was like, whoa, we are at the equator and it's a whole different ball game because the UV index is higher here than anywhere else on the globe.
Oh, wow, I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Uh, so with sunscreen, do you have a recommendation of I guess, the level? Like, is it 15? Is it 30? Like, or does it
Well,
matter if you
there's
want?
a there's a there's a lot of speculation about the 30s and the 50s and the hundreds and all that stuff. But what's important is that you have something on.
Something on.
Even if I say no more than 30, that's what I tell people, 30 and up. Because it's not even so much about how strong the sunscreen is, it's about you reapplying it and putting it
Oh,
on at
I
all.
thought
You
about
know what I mean? And so like some
reapply.
people
I think I leave that part out.
right? And so like what I do, I mean, I'm a big, big, big fan of what I call K beauty, Korean beauty products. They really have it down when it comes to eco beauty, premium eco beauty products. And they have a respect for melanin. They might not do it from the same angle that I do, but like I said, I'm not into the politics of it. I just know they make amazing products. And so particularly sunscreens. So I definitely recommend to my clients Korean sunscreens because I understand why a lot of Americans don't want to wear sunscreen because it's full of chemicals. Because,
Mhm.
the pharmaceutical industry owns the FDA, and so they're bent on putting them chemicals in everything, particularly the sunscreen. But the actual sun protecting ingredients in the Korean sunscreens are banned in the United States. So I definitely recommend those. They go on clear. They're actually gels, sun gels, and they're very watery, very clear. They leave a glass skin finish, but they are also protecting you from the sun. The FDA, the pharmaceutical industries own the FDA, right? So they want to put their chemicals in everything. And sunscreen is a perfect example of that because it's filled with all kind of chemicals that don't need to be there that are, in some cases, they're more detrimental than the sun damage. So you might as well just get like a true natural sunscreen, and in their products they're allowed to use the natural ingredients, and for some reason those same ingredients are banned in the United States and in products that are made in the United States. It's very interesting.
They're banning all the wrong things. Yeah, that's true. Because if any other country, you see how many, even in the foods, how many things are banned in
Exactly.
Europe.
Yeah.
All right. Well, with that said, what is one mistake you see people making that's actually aging their skin faster? Since we're talking about looking younger.
And what I like to say, I don't like to say looking younger. I like to say looking as young as you feel,
Oh, okay. I'm
you
20.
know? Right. Exactly. Precisely. So, and this one is straightforward. The biggest factor is lack of collagen production,
Oh,
period.
yeah. I was going to ask you about that.
That
Nothing is-
so if anybody's talking about anti-aging and the skin and they're not talking about collagen production,
Right.
forget about it. Because after age 30, 35, collagen production slows. And if you're not supporting it through sleep, hydration, proper treatments, and consistent care and treatments that produce collagen, you're gonna be taking part in accelerated aging. It's just the way it is. So you wanna be doing the things that produce collagen. At the top of the totem pole is microneedling, and I'll explain it in a short version because a lot of people hear that word, they're like, "Needles, micro
Yeah.
needles." First of all, you don't even feel them, they're so tiny, you don't even know. But the point is that what we've learned in aesthetic science is that so say you accidentally cut yourself, right? And there's a big gash, the whole body goes into this, the whole body goes, we need to create more skin. We have to build more skin. And so they send down ATP production and lay down fibroblasts and start the collagen production phase so that it can build new skin. Now take that down to the micro level. So if we're putting little tiny micro tears, which is what the microneedling does, over your face, the
Mm.
same phenomena happens. Your whole body goes, "We need to." It's almost like a
Rebuild.
hack. The whole
Right,
body
right.
goes into. We have to produce more collagen. We have to lay down more fibroblasts. We have to create ATP production, which are the precursors to collagen, and it works. So microneedling is at the top of the totem pole. I actually do radio frequency microneedling as well. I offer that here. But then also there's light therapy. So if you're doing, near infrared light or the red light
I
therapy.
heard it.
Yes,
But they wear the mask
exactly.
at night. I have a friend that has a big old scary mask that she wears that has red light.
Yeah. Yeah, and I always tell people though, I'm like, make sure it's real LED because there's a lot of fake LED. I always tell people if it's under $150, it probably ain't real LED. So I
Mm.
have the clinical grade, 70 LED lights. And so if it is truly infrared light, just like I said, the skin cells, blood cells, and muscle cells are all receptors of different frequencies of energy. So when the cells receive red or near infrared light, it tells them to go into collagen production, right? And then you also have cell turnover, which creates collagen. So that's where you get into your gentle, educated use of retinols, not extreme use of retinols, but to be able to create that cell turnover that creates the collagen. Because
About
if you're not
uh,
supporting collagen, you're accelerating aging. That's it.
what about taking collagen? Like they have put as their pills. I take a liquid right now that I like.
Yeah, I tell people get the collagen however you can. Eat it,
Okay.
drink it. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But most of all, you want to activate it from within. That's the most powerful way is to get the skin to rebuild and start building new skin, because that's what's going to keep the skin y- young, if
Right.
that's the word you wanna use, because that's why the 18-year-old looks like the 18-year-old and the 7-year-old looks like the 7-year-old, because 'cause they're creating collagen around the clock and nonstop. So it's not that we don't create collagen when we're over 30, it's just that the process slows down, so we have to activate it,
Right. Right.
and
See,
that's what turns that clock backwards.
perimenopausal time. I've got a lot of perimenopausal people in my crew now. So I think
The
after the
collagen production is is
yeah,
is where it's at.
yeah. Awesome. Well, this was we learned a lot today. My lord.
Yeah.
Um, and I think I feel like I still need more clarity on one last thing with the blueprint of things to do, essential steps. What would you say with those basic steps? Can you just give us like, is it like toner, facial? You said cleanser.
Well, I mean, the way to answer that question for me would be to tell you
Yeah.
about the skin collection because
Okay.
this is what it's been based on.
Perfect. Perfect.
Yeah.
Setting.
Yeah. So after working on people's faces day in and day out here at the equator, where the UV index is the highest, we're in a lot of humidity, constant heat, there's a lot of dead skin cells there's accelerated dead skin cell release, right? And there's sweat and there's sebum, which is the impurities that are in the oils that are in the pores trying to get out. And so person after person, I'm working on them and I'm like, okay, what is the common denominator here? Like what is the one thing that's the through line that could help everybody? And it was two things. It's clearing out the impurities and the sebum in the pores and getting rid of what I call the sludge skin that just covers our face and creates this blanket so that even what products you're using, the hydration and the nourishment can't even get to the epidermis because there's this blanket of dead skin cells. And by contrast, on the other side of the blanket, your pores are trying to release sebum and impurities, and there's sweat and oil, and it can't get through that blanket, and that causes impacted pores. So, something as easy as like you know, my green tea ginseng cleansing oil that we learned a long time ago with our hair. Oil breaks down oil. We don't need a lot of stripping shampoos to just like strip our hair of all of its oil. The bio-fermented oils, they lather when they touch water. So you just use those take it all over. And that is actually, releasing the oil and the sebum out of the out of the pores. And then you would follow that up with the papaya enzyme cleanser, because what that's going to do is gently and naturally remove and dissolve the dead skin cells on contact, but gently. Like I say, I'm not against all the like chemical peels and all that kind of stuff, but I don't think they're necessary. And they make your skin more photosensitive, more sensitive to the sun. Whereas if you do natural enzymes, you get the same benefit. And then, those things are like really creating that baseline. So now you can cleanse the skin. You now can hydrate the skin. And when you do hydrate the skin, you want to use a nice occlusive to seal that moisture in. So it's really those three things. Well, I guess that's more than three. So removing the oil out of the pores, dissolving those dead skin cells, truly, using proper moisture and nourishing hydration for the skin, and then sealing that hydration in, and of course, sunscreen. And you
Yeah.
want to use products that do a double duty, you know.
Right. Right. Yeah. I like
Like
that.
the Korean sunscreens, I tell people all the time, if you're in a pinch, they do double duty because they're so full of hyaluronic acid and panthenol and all these really great nourishing, hydrating ingredients and SPF. You can just do that after you cleanse and you're done.
Yeah, those products are taken off. Actually, my cousin put me on to some lotion one time, and my face was so moist. I was, "Oh, I like this lotion."
Yeah. And that's what the Beauty Alchemy edit is all about. So it's a really highly curated, in studio store that I've quietly sourced really amazing premium eco Korean beauty products. And the three buckets are sun care, skin care, and well, I have a whole thing about lips. So I'm really into lip
Yeah.
care.
So now I know you have a special offer for our listeners for Own Your Power. And I think what they need to do is follow you first, but tell us what it is.
Yeah, well, you're right. Follow me first. Beautyalchemy.bio and DM me. And the whole thing is that I'm offering 25% off to your listeners. Mention Own Your Power Radio. And yeah, and that's not only for the skin collection, that's also for people who are local, who are here in Costa Rica that want to come to the river and receive facial renewal by the river.
So how long do they have for this special to last?
It is. So by May 31st, that's plenty of time to DM me. First, follow me, beautyalchemy.bio, and mention Own Your Power, and let's get that discount going.
Then you make the connection and yeah, and then you'll get your discount. So wow, awesome. That's an awesome deal. And I'm telling you guys, you will not be sorry. The products are top notch. They are amazing. And I just feel good to know that I know the owner that made it with our own hands.
And
So
I just want to mention one other thing, which is that the other thing is I want people to be educated, continue to
yeah,
be educated and shared with. So that's another reason to follow is because I'm always giving Skin Secrets by Beauty Alchemy all the
yeah,
time.
yes.
So, I'm always dropping that knowledge.
Yes, yes, and like this show, you're gonna be having us share some tips too. So stay tuned. Next on your Power show, you'll hear a tip from Lynette as well about your skin. All right. Well, thank you so much for being a guest
Thank you.
on our show, and we'll definitely have you back. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of comments and questions. Everybody watching, please comment below. Let us know what you thought about the show. How is there any tips that she shared that you never heard of or that helped you? Please comment and let us know about it. And we'll see you next time. Thank you so much, Lynette.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Well, keep it locked on Your Power Radio and On Your Power TV. We have more coming up. Remember, anything you want is attainable. Own your power. Ladies, did you know Black women often experience menopause earlier and with stronger symptoms than any other group? That's right, next level hot flashes, mood swings, and sleepless nights. But don't sweat it. MenoChill by Black Girl Vitamins is here to help. Packed with herbs like ashwagandha, it's specially designed to support perimenopausal and menopausal women just like you. Plus, it's 100% vegan and doctor approved. Feel balanced, cool, and in control every stage of the journey. Own your power and take on menopause like the queen that you are. Try MenoChill by Black Girl Vitamins today and get 20% off by clicking our special link in the show notes.